Hello everyone, my name is Yusuf Edwards and welcome to part 71, part 71 of the American show. Let us begin. So, Princess Jennifer, what exactly is she up to this time, dear viewer? Well, she was sleeping in her bed. She wanted to get a head start on the day because she wanted to meet a very important friend or a very important future friend of the group that she was slowly but surely putting together. So she gets out and gets off of the bed of her apartment. Then after that, she leaves the bedroom, goes to the bathroom once again, and she takes off her pajamas and she goes into the shower. She's washing up, having a wonderful time singing in the shower. After that, she gets out of the shower, dries off her body, then she leaves the bathroom. I misspoke. She leaves the bathroom. After that, she goes back into her bedroom, and then after all of that, she begins getting dressed for the day. After all of that, she leaves the bedroom once again. Then, after that, she goes into the kitchen. She had decided that she was going to make herself some breakfast this morning. So that is exactly what she does. She begins cooking breakfast, having a wonderful time doing so, thinking about what she's going to say when she finally meets, or not finally meets, but really for the very first time meets Martha, the woman she saw on the TV yesterday. So, she finishes cooking her breakfast. She grabs the bowl and she sits down at the breakfast table and she begins eating her breakfast all alone. All of a sudden, as she's eating her breakfast, she hears the phone ring. So, very upset about what is happening, she decides to answer it. She leaves the kitchen table And she was now walking to and in the the phone room to answer the phone. She opens up the door and she walks in. She picks up the phone and it is her private investigator who was working for her at the time and worked for the family for decades. Back when the king's father was the king way long time ago. She answers the phone and he says to her, "I have a lot on your new friend here." After that, he says, "I will send it to you. I will send it to you." She says, "No problem. I'll be waiting in the living room after we hang up." No problem. After that, she leaves the phone room, and hangs up the phone before that. And like I said before, she leaves the room to go right back to eating her breakfast. She was now closing the door behind her, and she was gone from the room. After that, she was now walking back to the living room and towards the kitchen so she could eat the rest of her breakfast. After that, she sits back down, and to make a long story short, she finishes her breakfast. Then she sits down on the couch, waiting for him to arrive. And he does arrive. She is sitting down on the couch, just waiting, when all of a sudden she gets up from the couch because she sees him walking on the porch. He knocks on the door. She opens after she, of course, walks towards the door and opens the door. As she opens the door, welcoming him in the apartment. They sit down. He shows her some pictures of course, of Martha. After that, she grabs the pictures. Then shortly thereafter, he leaves the apartment. And after that, after he leaves, she looks through the pictures. She's looking through the pictures, and she is as enthralled with her beauty as before, or as yesterday. But this time, not just her voice, but her beauty as well, or beauty as well. So, she is looking through the pictures and is very enthralled by them. she decided to just take a nap after she looked at the pictures. She decided that she was going to take a nap, and then she was going outside for her daily run, or afternoon run, to be precise. She falls asleep on the couch. Then after that, she wakes up. She goes back into her bedroom after she leaves the living room. And then after all of that, she goes right to her closet and picks out the workout clothes that she was going to be wearing to go out to run. She would then put them on. Then after that, she would then leave the bedroom, walk into the living room, open the door, and the runs begin. Well, she begins running. After that, she decides to go out to eat for lunch. But before she can do that, she decides to look up the address, which is not coincidentally, he told her this during the conversation that she had with her private investigator, that there was an address that was on the back of the pictures. That was on the back of one of the pictures, or all of the pictures, actually. So she goes back to her apartment. She would then go and look through the photos, and she would see them on the back of many photos, so she will not forget. She says to herself, "Thank you, bro, I appreciate that." And then she is off the couch once again. Then after that, she goes outside. She leaves the apartment after she opens up the door, and she goes to her limo. She gets in. After she opens up the door, gets in, sits down, and then buckles up her seatbelt. She buckled her seatbelt, and then it was time to meet her. She decided that she was not going to be. She was going to be very polite. So she was preparing herself. She was keeping herself calm, cool, and well collected. After that, they pull up to the house, and she decided to knock. After she gets out of the car, limo, then after that, she decides to knock on the door. Coincidentally enough, she answers. Martha answers. She answers the door, and right off the bat, she introduces herself. "Hi, my name is Princess Jennifer. I would love to talk to you about your performance, and I would really love for you to get to know me." So she walks into the door. She's not she's not a teenager, she's in her 20s, I think. She was very excited to meet a princess, especially the princess of Silvercat. She heard a lot about it, and she always wanted to go as well, but her parents and her never could afford it. So she walks in the house alone, and she sits down, and they begin talking. After that, she introduces herself. They are talking about stuff and about the performance and how wonderful it was for her to be on the American show. She complimented her singing ability and just decided that, hey, would you like to go out to lunch with me? This is a friendly, I hope you would take the compliment of going to lunch with me. As you can hear, I am very nervous. You are so beautiful. I am just so in awe of you. She says to Martha. And Martha said, I would love to go out for lunch with the princess. Let me get my jacket. Right now? Yes. Okay. That's the best time as any, I guess. I guess this is the best time. Okay, great, alright. After that, they leave the house. They get in the limo, and after that, they were now driving to get some lunch together. The princess couldn't afford it, obviously. So they So they pull up to the drive-thru. The drive-thru person, they take their order and they give their order. After that, they get their meals. And for the rest of the afternoon, they are eating lunch together. After all of that, the limo driver drops her off at the house. It was very awesome. She waves goodbye to her new friend, and they are gone. So she gets back to her apartment. The limo pulls up, and she gets out of the limo. She goes right back to her bedroom, her apartment. I'm mixing those three things together. Did not mean to do that. Anyway, sorry for the burp there. She walks in her apartment, and she sits down, turns on the TV, and for the rest of the afternoon, late afternoon, she begins watching TV. After that, she decides to order in for the night because it was nighttime by this time. And she decided to order some food. She goes to her phone room and she picks up the phone and she orders some Chinese food. After that, she leaves the room and sits back down on the couch, and she waits for a couple minutes. Then she hears a knock at the door. Once again, it is the food delivery. Nope, that was wrong. She opens up the door and she gets her food. And for the rest of the night, she was now eating dinner by herself, watching TV by herself. And that was it. To be continued, everybody. To be continued. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did, leave me yours truly a like, subscribe to my channel, comment down below telling me what do you like about the video, or perhaps hate about the video. And I will see you next time. Bye bye for now.